it's Mark and Cindy on the radio, 10 to 11 a.m. Well, it's Mark and Cindy, they've got a morning show. Every day I listen in. We're gonna talk about what's going on in town. You never know who's gonna come.
Good morning,
down.
everybody. Thank you, Jared, for telling everybody what they're on. They're on the Mark and Cindy show, right?
And they need to know that, Cindy. By the way, today we are joined behind the booth here by Andrew, who is our trustee. They don't call them trustees, do they? What do we call them?
No, it's interns.
Intern.
They're
And
interns.
if I ever get down, that Andrew, like I asked him, Andrew, how's your summer going so far? And he says, great, man. I'm trainee. Why can't I think of that word? Intern on a radio station. I mean, that's really great. And I thought, what a nice guy.
I love that. I
he
love
can look
him.
at me and say how great it is to be.
It's a great, and he can't wait for this hour, especially this
Oh,
hour.
you know that. And we've got way in the back, Nikki's working on the computer and all and sending her emails. I made that email thing up. I was just, she's doing.
She is doing all kind of important things for this station, and
Cindy,
you better recognize.
I wanted to say
Yes.
this before we get started.
Yes.
I actually, before I came here, I was reading some of the home remedies and all, and one was about if you're it's not a remedy. If you're going to sneeze, if you put your tongue at the top of your mouth, you won't. Well, I really like to sneeze, but right before we went on, I was getting ready to sneeze. And
It worked?
Did it
Did it work?
Yeah. And if you get nauseated, I found out what it is. You sniff. It's rubbing alcohol. If you get sniff rubbing alcohol, and it's supposed to make you laugh. No,
well, you know, another thing is lemon juice. If you'll put a little salt and lemon, and that will settle your stomach really fast. In fact, after you have a full meal, after you have a full meal. Now shut up! You can't be on the show.
We need to do something,
Okay.
Mark, about this.
I don't know.
What do you think we should do? Cindy gives us $1.
Take my phone. And I can't have my phone back until it's.
Would you
till
turn
it's
it
over.
off at least?
No, I put it on vibrate.
Hey, Cindy, speaking of our topic this
Okay,
week.
wait, I haven't finished. Where was I? See, now you made me mess up where I was. I was talking about, Andrew, you're the intern. What was I talking
lemon
about?
juice. Lemon juice on your, Bengay on your earlobes
I know it is.
keep you
I
from.
know it is. If when you eat a meal and you're really full and you ate too much, I know none of us ever do that.
Oh, goodness, no.
But if you do that, if you'll take us, maybe a wedge of lemon and get the juice down in your gut, then you're good. You won't feel full.
Boy, I need the opposite of that. Before I start eating that stuff, I need something in my gut to
Make you
make me
full.
And I've done the water thing. Yeah, I'll drink lots of water, and you won't eat as much. Oh, give me a break.
That'll
last for 5
But I think
minutes.
it's about 16 ounces instead of that. Take that 8-ounce glass and drink that whole glass before you. Well, now they don't still know the volume I can consume.
Were you joking about on the Facebook people, Mark? You had no idea you needed.
Did
to
you
clear
read
up?
that?
Yeah. Were there people, or are you just joking? Where I said favorite pleasures, and then I said I'm not talking bedroom pleasures. I'm talking about other things as opposite of pet peeves.
That's what we were talking about this morning.
Oh,
What?
I'd say. See, they did.
You were talking about the bedroom pleasures.
Well, no, it's when we talk about favorite pleasures. It's like it just sounds really weird promoting it
It does.
because I have to somehow incorporate the pet peeve opposite.
Okay,
wrestled with that.
dude, let me tell you.
Uh-oh.
I put on the Facebook, Mark, think through before you come up with the theme and and Google that theme and see what comes up, because I was sitting there going I want to get a graphic and I want to get a picture to put up while I do the post. I go, favorite pleasures. Yikes! Oh, my eyeballs were so exposed to this.
I've got to write that down. To remember.
Well, there's a lot of material. Maybe
is.
it's not
There's
material you
so
want to speak
many.
about.
Well, I mean, I'm wanting some kind of visual. I'm clicking through. This has got to. No, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. It was horrible. And I was so glad Cindy and Samuel weren't there last night. And I'm man. And if somebody walked in, Sam, what are you doing on that site? Yeah. So you have to be careful
40
about
minutes
that.
later, did you find? I'm sorry.
I have a favorite pleasure.
I want to hear it, Dick. Okay. A favorite pleasure as opposite of pet peeve.
Well, usually my favorite pleasure is always to kind of go around sitting. And so my recent one is I like drumsticks now. These ice cream drumsticks. You ever had a drumstick?
Oh, yeah. Have I ever had
really like having a drumstick while sitting down on a bench outside.
Wow.
Because I did that yesterday. I was reading and it was such a nice day.
Outside
and
here?
I was just
Outside the bench?
I was like,
Hey,
here's
Dick,
some
it was
drumsticks.
92 degrees, but
It was worth it.
Did it
That
melt
is-
as you ate it,
okay,
or what?
Dick is
It was-
too young. Andrew's definitely too
I get
young.
the mini
but
ones.
Cindy,
Oh, the mini.
Many ones.
oh,
Yes,
those
I
are
remember.
nothing.
Well,
The
tell me.
push-ups.
Oh, push-ups.
Oh, the
Yes.
Flintstone
But
ones? Or
there wasn't much
No.
ice cream in them, but I guess you got them because I get to push it up. It's like a gigantic chapstick, only ice cream's in it.
Right. Those were so much fun to eat, but they were so messy.
Oh, they were terrible.
So
Not like your drumsticks.
no, you have to eat those in standing in a walk-in refrigerator, because as soon as you start eating them, they all melted in this, and it
Right.
started all over your hands, and you never could push it up fast enough to eat it all
It's
before
got
it
a
melted.
half-life of 10 seconds.
That's right.
That's really
But
sad.
the ice cream man, Richard, do you remember an ice cream man?
Yeah.
You had an ice cream man
Oh
in your
yeah,
block?
and Galveston, that was the thing. Galveston was always nice when you hear the ice cream
Man.
truck.
Oh, that is that song. I know they've changed the songs, and but it all sounds like "Let It Go." No, but
Oh,
they
no kidding.
it's some song that they would have.
Pop
It's
Goes
the-
the Weasel was the one
Yes.
down our street. Oh,
Oh,
there it comes.
I love Ice Cream Man. So I've tried to explain to Cindy and Samuel what an Ice Cream Man was, and we're sitting at the gas station at Kroger, and all of a sudden, here comes the Ice Cream Man truck, comes up to get gas. He had 15 kids around there by the time he finally, he couldn't even get the gas. He was trying to, and he'd get back in the truck and try and give the kids. And I said, that's it, that's him. So I said, would you please just play the music as you sit here? And he goes, okay, I will. So
Oh,
he did
man,
it,
that's
and it was
crazy.
just amazing. And they cost like $5 a piece now.
Isn't
Are you serious?
that the
Oh,
truth?
they were
They are-
ridiculous. They were
oh,
like,
man.
no, $2, $3, stuff
Well,
like
I always
that.
remember every time, like my brothers and us, when we go get ice cream, we'd always have to share because we never had enough money for individual.
Yes.
So it was like we got to figure out
Yes.
what we could split.
Yeah, and it
And
can only be a popsicle. That's the only thing.
who
I
gets the
think of.
first bite, because they always get the best parts.
That's
or-
right. And in the Elvis Presley movie, they were. It's
He
some
liked
movie-
shakes because he was all shook up.
No, he was, and his cousins wanted a Butterfinger bar. They had a Butterfinger bar, and they said, okay, but you've got to share it. He said, okay, and so he was getting ready to break it. He said, He breaks it. He's going to break it, and then you
Elvis
break it, but
Presley.
he's going to choose first.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so
That
King
is
Solomon.
that is
That was so
Solomon-esque.
King Solomon. It was great.
Well, we'd always have to get Neapolitan ice cream bars because I like strawberry, and then my brother.
And that's what you would eat it up to the.
Well, that's the only thing we could come to agreement on because I was like,
That's
what do you like? I
Really?
like strawberry. What do you like? I like vanilla.
Well,
all right,
like-
let's get this.
I like strawberry, but we used to get the Melorine from Walgreens because it's 33 cents a half gallon, and Mom always got Dad. My father was the worst pick of good stuff to eat. Anyway, it was Neapolitan, and we would eat when it's gone. There was just a layer of strawberry there because it was
Nobody
bad
likes
strawberry.
strawberry.
Oh gosh!
No, you're right.
And so
You're
then you
right.
eat the strawberry.
And why they would do that, because everybody just wanted chocolate, everybody just wanted vanilla. But my grandmother would come over on Thursday nights and bring ice cream and vanilla ice cream and root beer, and we'd have root beer
Wow.
floats and watch Amos and Andy.
Oh,
Do you remember
man,
that?
I do
Are
remember
you old
Amos and
enough to
Andy.
remember that?
Rochester, not Rochester. He
I
was with
love
Jack
that
Benny.
show.
But
I love that show, and
yeah.
why they took it off because they
Kingfish.
thought it was racist. But I'm telling you, everybody in there, to me, I looked at that and saw there were, the black judges, the black teachers. They were
Mm-hmm.
all, and at that time, they weren't, in those positions and had the titles, but there they were. It was perfect. It was wonderful, and I loved it. And the humor of it was so.
yeah.
It was so good. So I just thought to me, that was wrong. They took that off because it was a good
I
series.
did enjoy that. And what was, I think, pathetic, what was racist, is the radio version was two white guys.
Yeah, now that I can
That
understand
might have
that
been
being
racist
upsetting
there.
because of that, but the way they handled it and the way they did it was just
Yeah.
great. I
It's
loved
show
it.
business. Come on.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of favorite pleasures, which is still our topic
That's
here.
right.
And by the way, once again, Facebook and I did not check to see all the Facebooks we got this time.
To see who
Who
liked
might
what.
have, but last time we did.
Sherry
mention-
Lane, we are her favorite pleasure.
Isn't that something? That
I'm making
Sherry,
that up. I'm
oh,
kind
I'm
of putting
sorry.
that
I
words in her
started
mouth.
to say, yeah,
but the
that
way
was
she
Wicked,
talks about us,
Publishers.
the Wicked publicity girl.
Yeah.
But the way she talks about us, I think that would be on the top 10. that
I
listening
would think
to us.
so. It'd have to be.
She listens to all her shows and she can repeat back things that happen, and I go like, that
That's
is
frightening.
so. I love
You
that.
mean stuff I'm saying people
She
are going to remember?
remembers,
That is
yeah.
frightening.
It may.
Well, Debbie Loudon says she likes the pleasure of
like-
sitting on a covered porch
Yeah.
That's
with
what-
it raining and
Yeah.
just chilling. And that's when you have a drumstick.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, that will
that's
work
right.
too. Coffee
Yeah.
is what I mentioned on the thing. But, you know, one of the things,
love it.
this is more like a pet peeve. A pet peeve is something normally that happens all of a sudden, and, oh, that really irks me when he does that. Opposite of that is when just somebody in the grocery store or something looks up and smiles at me. If a smile
Mark.
means that much to you,
Yes.
maybe we should do it more. And
I was thinking about that.
Dick was
Oh,
up.
oh,
Well, I was thinking about
sure.
Mark, because
Oh.
he was telling that story. Was it last week where that man just slowly walked in front of him, jaywalked?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what would happen if he smiled
If
at
he
you?
stopped and smiled and,
And
flipped his
waved.
cigarette at yeah, no, that would
No,
that
waved
would have
at
been
you.
a difference.
Yeah, instead of being the mean guy and lighting the cigarette or whatever,
That
he
would've
looked at you and just
changed.
smiled and waved and goes,
And it's like, hey, Mark, slow down. What's the big rush? That would have been nice.
okay.
See?
I was just wondering. I was thinking about
No,
that.
no, that was good.
No,
and I'm
I-
glad somebody remembered that too.
I think you're right. That's why, I always say that you have a lot of control over people that you don't even know. But you have that kind of control by just when you smile at somebody. Normally, their reaction is to smile back. Not everybody,
Right.
because they may
It
think,
should be a reflex.
"You're not smiling at me, right? You're the person behind me." They don't even believe you're doing it. But they will react that way, and that makes them feel better. It's just. It's very courteous, and it does have an impact, and people don't realize you
That's
are
true.
important to other people
You know,
by
Cindy,
doing that.
We were talking about, we have in the past about
Yeah.
how we talk to somebody in the grocery store. We don't know them, stranger, but
Yes.
all of a sudden we're going to say something. They may not even be smiling. One of my favorite joys was, and I can remember it was last Christmas, and I'm there at Home Depot waiting in the return thing, and I'm walking up to it actually, and there's two people ahead of me, and all of a sudden this lady walks in. She's just a second behind me, but I look at her and I say, go ahead. And she said, no. I said, go ahead. And she goes ahead, and then I said, not knowing her, she's a stranger, and I say, I hope you know that if there were just two more people in front of you, I would have knocked the daylights out of you to get in front of you. And when you say something like that to
Mark.
somebody, they're going to take it one of two ways.
Mark,
And she
yeah.
looked and she laughed.
Okay,
and
that's
that was
good.
my,
That's good.
oh, that is a pleasure that you
That's
catch on to the sense of humor there.
Yeah, there's some quirkinesses about our humor that you really hope people get.
Right.
That before, as it's coming out of your mouth, and there's no way to stop it, it's going to come out there, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences.
And when it does work, it works good. And I
Yeah.
have found that, and I do it to both men and women, but I found that men are generally less. I worry more about them because I get these looks like, "Are you
Oh, yeah.
challenging me to something?" No, sir, I'm just joking. I really am. I don't mean anything. I've never eaten that chili before in your thing, and when I criticized it, I was joking. Anyway, speaking of joking, we have got to come back. And Cindy, we have other things like this, and I know you got some stuff, but I want to tell you one of my favorite pleasures when we come back, and it's about a movie, Sunshine State. While we're gone, look up to that. Oh, I love
I'm gonna have to
this.
look it up 'cause I
Listen to
don't
this.
know- I don't
That's
know that one.
What, Passengers at the end of the group?
Proclaimer. The Proclaimers.
Proclaimers. That's it.
I've never heard this before.
I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm
Hi, I'm Joyce with the Corner Pub in downtown Conroe. We're located at the corner of Simonton and North Main, just across the street from the courthouse. The week starts off Monday with open mic hosted by Alan, and Tuesday nights open mic hosted by Jeremy Bankhead. And on Thursday evening, McFarland Jams. There's nightly drink specials available every night, all night. And don't forget, live entertainment every weekend. To see a full list of events, visit our website at thecornerpubinconroe.com. So come join us at the Corner Pub, where the deli is open late.
You're listening to Lone Star Internet Radio. Now for your daily weather report. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. Today's weather forecast, there's a slight chance of showers with thunderstorms possible after 1 p.m. For the rest of the day, it will be partly sunny with a high near 91. Later tonight will be partly cloudy with a low around 75.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Donna Wick Public Relations. You've seen the billboards. That's right, Wicked Publicity. Contact them today at 832-326-1965 and visit wickedpublicity.com.
At Jazzy Junk, volunteers reclaim, restore, and recycle. Jazzy Junk is a non-profit resale storefront where you will discover wonderful, unique finds at very affordable prices on furniture, antiques, books, art, home decor, and more. When you shop Jazzy Junk, you support New Danville, a community for adults with developmental disabilities. We receive new donations daily, so plan a visit to Jazzy Junk today to find that perfect item or gift. Our motto is here today, gone today. So remember to hurry in and shop often for the best selection. Jazzy Junk is located in the outlets at Conroe on League Line Road and I-45 North. Call 936-441-4500 or visit our website, jazzyjunk.org. That's JUNQUE for more information and store hours.
Tune in at 3 o'clock every Wednesday for Aperture and Shutter Speed with me, Tom Moore of TR Moore Photos.
And me, Dick.
If you are an amateur or expert, or if you haven't ever picked up an SLR camera before, Aperture and Shutter Speed is a show for anyone who loves photography and film.
Join the conversation with us by calling in or emailing us your questions. If you want to know what's coming up on Aperture and Shutter Speed, just look up our show page on irlonestar.com or look us up on Facebook.
Join us every Wednesday at 3 p.m. for Aperture and Shutter Speed, and remember,
Take your lens cap off.
Miles an hour would walk 500 more to be the man who walked 1,000 miles.
And we're back. Okay, go ahead, Mark. I know you want to sing it. Mark. Everybody's heard this song except me. I don't know where I was when that
Yeah, she
happened.
was,
What year was that song?
That
popular?
was 2003.
Oh, okay. I was just recovering from. No, I don't know.
I don't know, but
you don't
that
know
was-
either.
Yeah, it's
You're
probably
listening to
earlier
the,
than that.
You're listening to the Mark and Cindy Show on Lone Star Internet Radio. This place to be. And listen, I've got to ask you, because you talked about yesterday you were going to go to the show because you weren't going to have any water.
Oh yeah.
Did you get that all fixed?
I did, and then I didn't. First of all, I didn't go to the show, Cindy. I was driving. I was hungry for one thing, and I said, that's great. I'll eat lunch at the movie by eating up large popcorn and refill it.
No hot dog?
Oh, gosh, no. Anyway, so I kept going, and I said, what the heck? I'm going to go get a burger, go home, and find out what's on TV, because I'm getting ready to spend $20 watching X-Men when a bad guy in a movie, in other words, here's one of the super evil guys. I saw the previews, and he's walking, and a bunch of army guys and all come around him, and all he does is wave his hand, and boom, they all fly back. And oh my gosh, the power. If you are a guy and you can wave your hand and knock out everything, I don't care to watch it anymore, because they're going to have it to where they stop you with a ball bearing in the earlobe or something.
Yeah, see, that's
He controls metal.
Oh, that's the only way
So
to
that's how they did it, because they all were all
take
wearing
your
metal.
zipper off and everything. That's I had no. But he's repelling them.
Yeah, he can control metal.
I
So
thought
he
it
can
was a
bend it, he can
mind
move
thing.
it, and that's
like
why he
metal
wears,
bender.
That's why he wears the helmet.
I have still not recovered from Superman, the last one, when they hit each other, knock them through the building, the train. I've mentioned this several times, but anyway, they're fighting, ball of fire, trucks hitting each other and all this, and finally Superman kills him by getting him in a headlock and breaking his neck. What the Sam Hill was that all about?
I actually turned that movie off in the first 20 minutes.
I can believe that. Oh,
Yo,
20
Mark,
minutes.
Mark,
I don't remember what's happening. I'm coming down.
Mark,
I'm
it's
coming
only
down.
a movie.
You remember the
only
beginning
a movie.
where they hold a
Oh,
trial
man,
while the
that's-
whole planet's being destroyed?
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it's like the very beginning where
yes.
the General Zod, they catch him and they hold a trial. I'm like, is anyone trying to
That's
escape
right.
this place? Like,
The
does
thing
no one
is,
really
they're
care?
getting ready to die. And they did end up escaping.
Y'all are taking that
like,
way
just one
too
of them did.
seriously.
Before I
Yes.
What happened? The water was turned off. It came on, and before I came here today, and that's why I was a few minutes late, but not as late as you.
Thank you for that.
Said, Mark, here's what's going to happen. You're going to try to fix those 2 faucets yourself because Kay said you can't call the plumber. Said you can't call the plumber. In other words, call the plumber because you can't do it. I said,
I see what you mean. Okay.
So I went out and I cut the water off, and when I did, it was hard to cut off, but then, where you cut it off, it started filling with water, like, oh my gosh, I got problems here, but I'll worry about it later. And then I went and took the valve off. I'm sweating like a bad dog, and so I could go to Home Depot and show them the valve and say, I need to replace this. I looked at the washer. I can't tell anything's wrong with it, so let's just get a new valve. And in the meantime, what I'm waiting for is to go home and see if the whole neighborhood is underwater because of my faucet. And I don't know.
And you don't know? And
that's what I got to worry about.
But you got water today, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, after I turn it back on, I might. Yeah. And that leak will still be there.
Mark, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know that yet?
No, I don't. But here's the deal. Cindy, if this works out well, if I fix both of these faucets that are leaking, I'm going to have one of those favorite pleasures because there's something about, wow, I fixed it, and I just feel, but it's going to take at least 4 more trips to Home Depot before it's over, but when it's over, I will have done something.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, that must be a guy thing.
Oh, it is.
That has to be a guy thing. It's like asking for directions. You're gonna drive 50 miles out of the way so that you can prove that you were wrong.
Oh, man.
You're right. I don't get it.
I've done that. But let me say this.
Okay.
If this works, I'm going to, Kay will realize that I am able to stop whatever gas leak that is inside the wall. Now, that is a challenge, and I'm going to try to do it without breaking any sheetrock.
You've got a gas leak in the wall?
That Kay can smell anything.
She's
powerful, and she'll walk in the bathroom, gas. I can't. And she says it's natural gas in this case.
I understand.
Right.
Well, that is natural. Okay.
And we do have, we've walled up a heater.
Yeah.
But we had a plumber do it, and he he put a plug in it and everything.
Oh.
But she says she's still smelling the stuff, and I don't know.
So you're going to try and fix that as well? I think that's one you give over to the experts, because that can blow up everything.
I'm going to ignore it. My thought is this.
Yeah,
if gas is built up enough to blow something up, I'm not going to need Kay to tell me, wow, it smells like gas in here. I'm going to know. We are 2 seconds away from blowing up, so don't turn on the stove.
But you're not supposed to be able to smell it.
That's true.
I thought you couldn't smell it. That's why you there's something that what is it, an adapter or something that causes you to be able to smell it if it's a emergency. What is that thing?
Oh, you mean a CO2 monitor? But what they put rotten egg smell in it to tell you that it's bad.
Yeah. That's it. The sulfur. Oh, yeah. That's a great smell. Okay, so
fascinating, ladies and gentlemen. The things you learn on this show is just
that's why you have to listen to this show, because when we did Home Remedies, I love that. And I was listening to that show just the other day.
Really?
Yes, and you're talking about all the home remedies.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Mark, why would you say
I do that often.
Yes.
I do.
Listen, we've got to talk to people about how to listen to the Mark and Cindy show. I think there needs to be a strategy to it.
Because I have none.
Well, because a lot of people, just like I was talking to Wayne Michaels last night, and Wayne is our he's relatively new, DJ. We don't call him a DJ, though. We call him a personality.
He's on the Lone Star?
Yeah, 7 to 10 at night. And
every night?
Every
Monday through Thursday.
Wow, that's almost like us, only it's in the evening, and it's longer than us.
Yeah, much longer than us. But he plays music, so he's not having to talk for 3 hours, so it's different. But
is this the bearded gentleman?
I haven't seen him. I haven't met him. I haven't seen him.
Dick's not sure.
He's got a mustache.
Okay, it's not the guy I thought. The guy I thought is heavy bearded.
And he thinks he's old because he's 55 years old. I don't get it. But I called in last night to welcome him to the station. A little late, but I called in to welcome him as a part of the Lone Star family, and tell him about what we're doing. And he said, "I've listened to y'all's show a few times."
And that was it? Oh,
so
I hate that.
Oh, good, thank you. No,
hey, Mark, I read your article.
And yeah, that's right.
What, more? You want to tell me something about it?
You got your hair cut.
Yeah.
Nothing. Well, I love the ones that say, "You got your hair cut. Do you like it?" When they say that, you know they don't like it. They're waiting to hear what you think about it. Yeah. But anyway, he was so sweet, so nice, and was a real chatterbox with me. I just bring that out in people.
You do. You really do.
I think he was very bored. It was getting close to the end of the show.
Did he put you on the air?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
I told him, I said, hi, I'm Cindy Cochran with the Mark and Cindy Show, and I'd like to talk to you on the air live. He goes, oh, okay, well, we're at the end of a song. Hang on just a second. And so we talked, and it was great. And he told me a lot of things he wants us to promote. Unfortunately, I didn't tell him. You never tell me something. I can't even remember it when Richard says it over
it's
the
like jokes.
the
I
very
can't
side.
remember.
So I said, listen, be sure and send those to Richard, and then we'll promote them for sure. Because he's got Bill Anderson that's going to be on the radio.
Bill Anderson.
And he's going to have him on. He's going to go out and do an interview with him, and then he's going to bring that interview to his show. And so, I told him, I said, listen, he was telling me all the guests he was getting ready to have, and I said, hey, Wayne, we got to make a deal. When we have a guest on that is an expert on how to correctly wear Depends, and then we give them to you, and
There
if you'll
is
give
a
us
way, let me tell you.
and you give us one of your guests, and it'll be great. And he kind of went, oh, what?
Right.
And so
you took it over the line,
he
Cindy.
hasn't listened to enough of our shows, but anyway, it was good. So he's great, and you guys, if you haven't listened to him, he's on. It's from 7 to 10 every night, right here live, and so you can call in with requests, and Wayne will talk to you.
Wow.
But next after our show, because we do love to cross promote.
Oh, we cross promote the daylights out of stuff.
And we love to bring all of our listeners to the next show that's coming up because it's Cassandra. And it is the great show that Cassandra has. And it's so amazing.
Man, it's called
so fun
Mind
to
Your
listen
Business.
to. And so it's just, you better mind your own business.
Mind your
Mind your
own
business.
yeah.
And
She's the,
no. Richard was just poised.
I'm thinking you guys
to
don't even
say
have
it.
a show. Y'all just talk
We
about
don't.
other
We
shows.
just- hey, but let me
Well,
tell
you give us
this.
so much stuff to promote,
She does.
for
It's
crying
too
out
much.
Well,
loud.
you have 4 segments to do it in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey,
But you
by the
had to
way,
do it all
Cindy,
in
when
one.
we come back after this break, don't
Yes.
forget the tease I gave you last time about Sunshine State. I'll give you one more tease.
Okay.
It involves Edie Falco, who was on Sopranos, but she was in this movie, and it's interesting.
And you liked it?
Yeah. I
Okay,
liked it. But
all
it's a favorite pleasure. I'm going to tell you about. But right now, let us walk 500 miles.
The Mark and Cindy Show, who can hardly make it 50 yards, but we're going to try. Okay, we will be right back. Don't go away. We got more fun stuff coming.
It takes something special to make it in the business world. Montgomery County is fortunate to have a diverse pool of industries and businesses. Join me, Cassandra Roshan, Director of Membership Development with the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce, for Mind Your Business. I will sit down with our chamber members to talk history, community involvement, and get some tips of the trade on how to be successful in our current business environment. Tune in on the third Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. to hear from our members of the Greater Conroe, Lake Conroe Area Chamber of Commerce talk about their professional experiences. I guarantee you will walk away with insight of how to mind your business.
The City of Willis Independence Day celebration is scheduled for Saturday, June 28th from 5:30 to 10 at Burton Yates Stadium in Willis. The Willis Independence Day celebration will include several local artists, including Blue McGinnis, Brian Fincher, and Tori McClure. But the spotlight for the night will belong to local country superstar Jack Ingram. You don't want to miss Oodles the Balloon Artist, face painting, vendors for your shopping pleasure, free food provided by Kroger, and a fireworks show provided by Celestial Displays. Free tickets are required to enter the stadium, so please make sure you stop by City Hall, 200 North Bell Street, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 12, and Monday evenings from 5 to 7. If you don't get a chance to stop by City Hall, any additional tickets that we have available the day of the event at the gate. For more information, contact the City of Willis at 936-856-4611. Don't forget, Saturday, June 28. Don't want to miss Jack Ingram at the Willis Independence Day celebration.
Hi, I'm Tina, and I will be your host for a new program on Lone Star Internet Radio. I call it Retro Saturdays. Every Saturday at 5 p.m., I will be playing music from the 1930s to the 1970s. I will play a different genre of music every weekend of the month. You will hear big band music, jazz, 70s classic rock, and 60s oldies. Join us for Retro Saturdays at 5 p.m. every Saturday of the month. Go to irlonestar.com for more information on Retro Saturdays on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Speaking of the Sunshine State, that's where you are today.
Ooh, man, isn't that the
in Conroe, Texas. It is sunny. We got some clouds, but it's sunny and it's really pretty. And there is a breeze to wipe the sweat off your brow. So, anyway, you are listening to the Mark and Cindy Show, and Mark was just speaking about Sunshine State. It's a movie. I never saw this movie.
Cindy, thank you. And it's a one of those diamonds in your proverbial roughs. In other words, I haven't heard anybody else say anything about it, but there is a scene in it. And I was telling Cindy during the break that one of my favorite pleasures is to have a scene in a movie or a TV series and go to someone, did you see such and such? And they say yes. And you both enjoyed the same. To realize there's another human being on the planet that appreciated that scene. Listen to this scene, and I'm going to tell you of a reaction to it. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it is set in Florida, and there is this little town. It's a little town that the big developers are trying to buy out. But Edie Falco is an actress. She's Nurse Judy or whatever, and she's also was Soprano's wife.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Anyway, great actress. And the first time I ever see her, she owns this bar diner, and she's standing there, and it's a boring day. There's only two people in the bar, and her friend, who's a waitress, walks up to her and says, I'm just going to call her Edie because I don't remember her name. It says, Edie, that guy over there, and she points in a direction, says, he's got his eye on you. He keeps looking, and I can tell he's interested. And Edie needed somebody to be interested. So she just walks over in the direction, and there is this actor you know very well, and his name's going to come up to me any minute. And
Does it matter who
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anyway, but he's nice looking, and he's sitting there, but he looks very, tame and everything. He's just sitting there, and Edie Falco sits down thinking, this is the guy. And she's telling him about her life and all, and she says she was one of the mermaids in one of these like Aquarina Springs things. She said, I can hold my breath for 2 minutes and something seconds. You want to see? She said, you want to see if you can hold your breath as long as me? And he said, okay. And she reaches across the table and holds his nose, just like, your uncle is trying to say, I got your nose.
Got your nose.
And she's holding his nose, and she said, okay. And she holds her breath, and all of a sudden the waitress comes up while she's holding the nose, and the waitress says, that's not him. Point to this other. And it was, the good thing about the movie was Edie Falco's look. It was one of these things like, I don't care. It was, and I just saw that, and I said, Kay, she didn't want to see the movie. I said, Kay, come in here, please. I've got it on tape. And I rewind it, and I said, look at this scene. Don't you love this lady? Don't you love this scene where it's apparent she's really taken with this guy, and she doesn't care anymore. She's holding his nose, and he's going with it. And she watched it, and I said, wasn't that great? And she said, yeah, it's okay. I don't know. And that was the opposite of a favorite pleasure. I needed at that time someone to bind with me and say, bond. Yes, not bind. And anyway, that was, but when it works and when somebody has seen that and they liked it too, it's just beautiful.
Do you know what? I love rewriting a script. And when I can go into a movie and I never have to rewrite it or give the ending, it's a better line if you'd have done this and all that, then that's a good movie to me. But when I get in there and they do something, especially, in comedies, and I think that would have been funnier if they said this, that'd be funnier. And I don't, usually, if no one's sitting with me, and I think that's why I go by myself so many times, because, I'll lean over and say, you should have said, shut up. I like the way it's written. Shut up, Cindy. So, but that in a movie, will really tell me something about it. And I don't know if that's so arrogant sounding, but it's just that would have just been funnier to me. To me, I would have laughed out loud if they just said this or
why didn't
he
see that, the writer?
Yes, right. What's wrong with them?
Cindy,
didn't they?
I don't know if it was yesterday, but I was talking about this scary show. I saw the first or one part of it where all of these pictures in this house at night, the pictures were taken out of the frame. There's about 50 of them. And the only explanation was, our child did. The 5-year-old took those out as a joke. Did you take those out? No. Well, I bet you did. Anyway, go back to your bedroom, and go to sleep. Well, I thought that's so stupid. There's something miraculous happening there. Well, what happens now is the woman comes by the bedroom of the son, and she sees this black shape, and she screams, and the shape goes, and she looks, and her child is not in the bed, and she looks out, and he's walking across the backyard. She wakes up her husband, and she goes out there, and they grab him back, and she tells the husband, I saw someone in her room. And he says, oh, good grief, don't we have enough problems without you acting crazy? And I wanted to strangle. Who writes this stuff? It's send the boy back to bed. You are so stupid. This kid, the pictures are gone, and now the mother says there's a body, and he's outside, and he didn't set off the metal detector, or whatever. Anyway, those are the ones I want to write. And
yes, rewrite those and make it more, so that you can understand why they would do these things, because naturally that would not happen.
Really,
and so I don't know. I think it's funny because. Why do we have a better sense of this than these people who are paid that much money to do it? Mark, we need to be writing a movie.
You are telling me, young lady? Sheesh.
See, now, would you think truly, you think it would be fun to write a movie and then try and shop it? We wouldn't shop it.
We couldn't. No. And that's our problem. That's why we are where we are now, in a place that Andrew is really pleased to be.
That's right.
And I feel like these guys that you say, like, why don't we write a movie? I think that people do write a good movie, but then whoever pays for it goes, I don't like this part.
That's true.
Yes.
And so it's really not the writers, it seems like.
You've got to, when you finally sell it, it's not
That
yours.
is true. They're always
I think I told
a conflict.
You about Orson Welles, a director. After Orson Welles got a little older, he had written a script, and he said it's great. And so his agent went to a bunch of other producers and said, you got Orson Welles wrote. Oh, can we meet Orson Welles? And everybody wanted to meet him and everything. But when it came down to putting money down, they said, no, I'm not going to invest in Orson Welles. He's lost money on everything he wrote. Even the Citizen Kane lost money.
Right.
But it doesn't matter how great he is. It's, he won't make money. And that makes sense, I guess.
He was a phenom because I think I told you about his secretary would have to tell him what words to use so that the lighting person and the person, even the person that was shooting it, would know what he's talking about, because he didn't know the terminology. And so she'd have to tell him that. And then when he'd say, well, I want to shoot this where I see the ceiling here, and they go like, well, we don't shoot that, we've got flats. And he says, well, then put something over the flats. But I want that look. So a lot of the things that he started doing, it was out of ignorance of what the Hollywood Bible said, this is how you do it. And he became, everybody this icon of creativity and, breaking out of the box that Hollywood had put around the directors and stuff. They then felt a freedom because he got away with it.
It was
but he didn't know.
Blessing he didn't know. And that's what, and he told this other director who made one movie, and I think I've mentioned this to y'all before, I apologize, I'm getting old. Anyway, this guy just started out, and his first movie was a flop, but Orson Welles knew he was a good director, and he said, young man, you are blessed. You are starting at the bottom, moving up. I started at the top with Citizen Kane, that people are saying it's the greatest movie ever, even though it's not selling many tickets.
Oh, good point.
And he said, and I've just gone down ever since because I can't top that.
Right.
And so failure is... has something to do with our encouraging word that's coming up after a while.
Oh, good.
But by the way, in looking at favorite pleasures also, Cindy, I saw something. I did email one thing. Favorite guilty pleasures. And this person said one of my guilty pleasures is stealing the fluffy pillows in a hotel room. I thought... Okay, that's sad.
That's a guilty pleasure.
And how don't they keep?
Hey, and I got to tell you, be sure not to Google that phrase for sure.
It's
I just want to let
scary.
you know that. Yeah, don't do that.
Favorite pleasures or guilty pleasures.
Or guilty pleasures. There's just a whole word around pleasure. Why we
I
can't
know.
use it? They've
That
stolen
was a
it.
bad word.
It's stolen it from the good.
I should have said joy. Favorite joy or something.
I'll have to do that one. I'll have to Google that one and see what that one says. But we were talking, and I was so interrupted by how to listen to the Mark and Cindy show, and that people, a lot of people listen to it on their phone. I listen to it on the phone. You go to SoundCloud.com and search the Mark and Cindy show, and there's are we close to 100 yet? Are we almost at
107?
107 shows that you can listen to and binge. Everybody likes to binge now. And so you listen to all of them at one time. And, and by then you'll know all the lyrics to the Mark and Cindy Show from Jared Stewart. So if
Barrett.
I said Jared.
You said Stewart, though. Jared Stewart.
Jared Starrett. See, I was going back in time.
I was going to say Scarrett, but you're right.
when he came on the show, I could not get that name right. But Jared Starrett. And Jared listens to our show every day. He's so faithful and loyal.
I like Jared.
And so we need to make sure we do a shout out to him once in a while. But anyway, people that listen to the show listen to it at different times. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, so a lot of people may be at work. And a lot of times there's meetings that go on at 10 o'clock. So remember, Richard has this show back up on archives so fast after 12 o'clock that you can, during your lunch hour, listen to it, and it'll be fine. And Wayne, I told Wayne, I said, Wayne, we got to have you on the show. And he goes, well, Cindy, I have a regular job. No, he said, Cindy, I've got a regular job. And he's got a great voice. And I said, well, you could call in maybe? And he goes, I can call in, that's no problem. I said, oh, call in, because Mark I'm sure wants to meet you. And so we can do that. And maybe one day at our Christmas party, and then I had to laugh, we could meet you in person. But,
really? You know, I like to meet a Wayne who's not a mass murderer. And that will mean a lot to me.
Oh,
no, and that
but
I'm
Wayne
not talking
Michaels,
to you other Waynes.
Yeah, Wayne Michaels is such a cool name for us.
Cindy, did you know that Dick puts our broadcast on so fast that sometimes during the break going into the fourth segment, we play it back to see what our encouraging word is going to be and all, because he's already got it on tape. How does he do it? I don't know.
He's in a time warp of his own, and I don't understand that. But anyway, some people that are at work, and like Jill is working, right? She's working right now at work. Okay, so when she wants to listen to it, she can put her headphones on, those little bud things, and
nobody knows,
and think she's listening to some other radio station. No, but nobody will bother you. But if you listen to this, and the boss comes up behind you and says something to you, like, "What are you listening to?" Mm-hmm. I think if he heard what we were talking about, he would feel there was no fear of interrupting your day or messing with your brain or putting any kind of propaganda into your head. So maybe just encourage your boss to listen to it first and see, don't you think all of our employees should be listening to this show to help them?
That would work so much. Jill works in one of those booths.
Cubicles?
Thank you. Cubicles. Mm-hmm. Cindy, what is wrong with me?
I don't know.
She didn't used to. She was in the open area, and Jill is a person who likes the cubicle. And so, because she's there, please leave me alone. I'm there, and I can handle things here very well. This is my realm. And if somebody did come up and say, "What are you listening to?" she'd say, like she's on the phone, she's got the Bluetooth. She'd say, "Yes, Dean." She works at a college. "Yes, Dean Johnson, we'll be right there. We'll take care of that." I'm sorry. What are you saying?
I always enjoy it when people call in, and you can totally tell they're under the table. And it's like, yeah, I was listening to this. I'm like, where are you right now? I'm not supposed to be on the phone right now, and I just really think this is really funny. You know?
That's great. That's great. Well, if Jill's listening right now, calling in, she was able to call in a couple of times.
Yes,
was she at work or no?
I don't. She might have been.
Just tell them to risk it. You know, it's worth it. Mark and Cindy is
only a job.
It's only
retirement.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they can get a note from the radio show. We can send a note.
We'll send them. We're good at that.
To
folks, if you do need an excuse to listen to the show,
that's
please.
right. But it will make the trip wherever you're going go by faster if you listen to us while you're on the road.
We got a break. When we come back, we're going to have an encouraging word. Plus, we're going to tell you who's coming up tomorrow and Thursday also.
Wow,
I can't wait. It's scary.
Woo, when you hear this.
Mark and Cindy Show. Let's walk another 500 miles.
Hello, I'm Bonita DeRosa, Animal Control Officer for the City of Willis. We invite you to tune in to Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 a.m. for the Willis Hour. On the first Thursday of the month, the Willis Hour will be covering upcoming events and news about the city. Join in the conversation with your city officials and other leaders in the community. On the third, we will be doing a recap of the last City Council meeting. The mission of the City of Willis is to provide high-quality services, accountability, and professional commitment to our citizens. We pledge to provide those who live, work, and visit our city an effective government that is open and responsive to the needs and values of the community. Again, we invite you to tune in on Lone Star Internet Radio every first and third Thursday of the month at 11 for the Willis Hour.
Tri-County Services provides services to children and adults with mental illnesses, substance abuse disorders, and intellectual developmental disabilities in Montgomery, Liberty, and Walker counties. Offices are located in Conroe, Cleveland, Liberty, and Huntsville. Some mental health services offer focus on resilience and recovery. Services and supports for individuals with intellectual development disabilities focus on skill development and independence. Tri-County Services offers 24/7 crisis intervention and evaluation with crisis hotline 1-800-659-6994 and their mobile crisis outreach team. Psychiatric crisis treatment is available at Psychiatric Emergency Treatment Center in Conroe. Substance abuse services include treatment for both youth and adults. Substance abuse prevention classes are also provided for younger children and teenagers. Peer support services for veterans are also offered by Tri-County Services. For more information about all programs provided by Tri-County Services, call 936-521-6100 or visit our website at www.tricountyservices.org.
You're listening to Lone Star Internet Radio now for your daily weather report. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. Today's weather forecast, there's a slight chance of showers with thunderstorms possible after 1 p.m. For the rest of the day, it will be partly sunny with a high near 91. Later tonight will be partly cloudy with a low around 75.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Donna Wick Public Relations. You've seen the billboards. That's right, Wicked Publicity. Contact them today at 832-326-1965 and visit wickedpublicity.com.
This is Rick Schisler, the host of the Weekly Business Hour. Have you ever thought about maybe, possibly, even considering LASIK? Then call my friends at Man Eye Institute, 1-800-MY-VISION, and talk to them about a free LASIK consultation. The thing about Man Eye Institute is they want their patients to be happy. That's their number one goal. Whether you decide to have LASIK, if you decide to have another procedure, if you decide to wait, whatever it is, the folks at Man Eye Institute want you to be happy and informed and comfortable with your decision. That's why I never hesitate to recommend a free LASIK consultation for anyone who's even thinking about maybe getting LASIK. 1-800-MY-VISION is the Man Eye Institute number because you get to walk through the process, have a thorough eye exam, and have all your questions answered. Before you leave Man Eye, you'll know exactly what your options are and you can make the right decision for you. So don't hesitate. Call Man Eye Institute now for a free LASIK consultation at one of their 9 Houston and Austin area offices, including right here in the Woodlands. 1-800-MY-VISION. That's 1-800-698-4746. Discover more right now when you visit maneye.com about the benefits of LASIK eye surgery.
Comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you.
And we're back on the Mark and Cindy Show. And it's a good thing that we are, because otherwise, you know what's going on. What would happen? What would happen? It's a beautiful day in downtown Conroe, Texas. And listen, tomorrow, we have with us Leo. Now, Leo, I'm not going to give you your last name because Leo has the status of like someone like Cher, Madonna. You only need one word, one name for Leo. And so Leo's going to be her. She is the owner of the Conroe Coffee. And everybody is finding this place. They are finding it because it is the coolest looking place in the world inside. And then you've got a Brit who owns it. And Leo is such a Brit. So when you go in there and she talks to you, she'll talk to you and ask you what you want and talk to you about how wonderful things are here and what's happening over in England. And you can just talk to her about everyone.
Perfect. That sounds like Leo.
She even has the Queen Mum sitting at the statue of her. And so you just got to go see her. She's wonderful. She's absolutely great. So she's going to talk about how she came here and about the Conroe Coffee place. Everybody knows about this. She's wildly popular here downtown Conroe. So we're going to have her on, and don't miss her. She is good. And then coming up on Thursday.
Margie Taylor with the Montgomery County Emergency Assistance
Center.
And boy, they do good work. And I did not know it was as big production organization as it is. Anyway, she's going to be here with
the scope of what they do.
Chad, and I'm thinking the last name's Patterson, but I'm not sure, is going to be with her.
Yeah, it is Chad. I kept reading it in the email that Chad's coming with her. Is that one of her
I think he's the
leaders?
executive.
He's the director. It's her boss.
It's her boss, so we'll
let him on.
Yeah, we'll let him talk.
Jeez.
But they do incredible work here in Montgomery County, and we want to hear about that and make people aware that they are here and what they offer this county. So they'll be on, and so it's going to be a fun-filled week. And then next week we have 2 guests next week, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. You need to stay with us, but especially right now because it's Mark Hader.
Oh my goodness!
The encouraging word.
The encouraging word. Cindy, I read something today and I wrote down. It was so touching. It had to do with judging and not judging people.
Ooh.
And I said that's going to be the encouraging word. And son of a gun, I read one more thing, and it was more encouraging than the other. Both of them good, but I'm going with this one. And I don't know how many of y'all have read anything or heard any preaching from Max Lucado.
Like him.
He is just a great, thoughtful individual, a godly man. Deep. And I was reading this, and it was so good. And it was about life. Isn't that interesting? The journey. And he said, he used this as a beginning. He said, suppose you were on an airplane. You got on the airplane and you're flying, and the pilot comes on and says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to flight whatever. You are now beginning your journey, and you will end your life on this journey. You're never leaving this airplane. Everything that is going to happen to you is right now and on this plane and until you die. And, he was saying, well, what would you do? Well, you would have one, mutiny. You would throw this pilot out the window and either crash the plane or try to do something because you don't want that. But what he was saying is, our life, hokey smoke, is that it's the journey. And here we're thinking all the time, before bucket list, before I die, I've got to go to British Columbia and do this or that or whatever. And Max Lucado is saying, that's great, and you should. He never even mentioned bucket list. I'm mentioning it. It's something, wow, I want to do before I die. But he was saying that means so little. He says those who are content with nothing more than the joy of the journey here in life are settling for far too little. He said, in God's narrative, life on earth is but the beginning, the first letter of the first sentence in the first chapter of the great story God is writing with your life. Do you feel as if your best years have passed you by? Hogwash. You will do your best work in heaven. Do you regret wasting the seasons of life on foolish pursuits? So do I, but we can stop our laments. We have an eternity to make up for lost time. God is polishing you in your place in his kingdom. Your biggest moments are ahead of you, the other side of the grave. When you think of heaven and you think eternity, well, you can't think of eternity.
Right.
This life is mentioned in the Bible as a puff of smoke, a candle that burns out and all, and that's what it is. Can you imagine in heaven 1 trillion years from now, if God doesn't have a plan for you? What, you're just going to sit there? I think we're going to have jobs. That's just Mark thinking out loud.
I think so too.
We're going to be doing
busy.
things.
Yeah.
And the thought when I'm in heaven of, I never, didn't spend time at the Grand Canyon, never saw the Niagara Falls and all this. I don't think that's even going to be a thought in my mind, a bucket list.
I don't either.
In fact, somebody might ask, Mark, do you remember life on Earth? I don't know. It's 1 trillion years ago. I may remember. I don't know. But that's the hereafter, and that's what we've got to look for. And he didn't promise us a rose garden or anything here on earth, but son of gun, this is a moment, and what we've got to look forward to after this journey is the continued journey to eternity, where he has prepared us a place, and I think a job for us to do that
I
we're
agree.
going to enjoy.
I don't think you just sit around and you hear ding, ding, ding. Everybody goes to lunch. I think it is. I think we're doing something, and that's what's going to make it fun. And the eternity passed so fast.
Right. No. I can't believe it. It's over.
It's over. Yeah. No, that's what's cool about it. So I appreciate that encouraging word because that's fun to think about.
And I like
we're going to be doing.
Andrew's attitude. He acts like he's already there because he's. Andrew has you. It's going great. Well, you don't hear him. Okay.
That's what what you want to hear from people, and that's what we need to hear from you. And I thank everybody, and especially I thank my sweet daughter-in-law Sabrina, who has kept Samuel and Cindy the last 2 days, and they've had a good time. And I got to do a lot of work.
Stay tuned. Mind your business with Cassandra.
And remember, God loves you, and He's got this.
You never know who's gonna come around on the Mark and Cindy show. Let's Mark and Cindy on the radio.
Hey everyone, this is Tina, your host from Retro Saturdays. I wanted to invite you to visit the Lone Star Studios here in downtown Conroe, Texas. We're all volunteers here, and we need your help in serving the Montgomery County area. Radio media is a fun field to be in. Lone Star Internet Radio serves Montgomery County with news, current events, local programming, and of course, music. If you are interested in volunteering and sharing your talents in media, go to irlonestar.com and let us hear from you. Lone Star Internet Radio, serving Montgomery County from the heart of downtown Conroe.